Well, hi friends, it's Miss Susan from the Crystal Lake Public Library with another virtual story time for you. So we are right in the middle of our summer reading program. It's so exciting to see all of you coming into the library, turning in your minutes. And our theme for the summer reading program is Read Beyond the Beaten Path. You know, it lends itself to going outside and exploring and finding out new things. So I thought, let's do a story time about a camp out. Two friends camping out in their backyard, each of them pretty confident that they can stay the night out there without being scared. But are they scared? I mean, they've got their flashlights, they've got their stuffies. Think all is good, but let's find out. This is called, how about that? Oh yeah? This is by Tom Birdseye and illustrated by Ethan Long. Two friends going camping. Do you see what's behind them? It's just their imagination. Just wanted to let you know. Let's find out how they do, shall we? One time, my friend Jared and I camped out in the backyard. "You're afraid of the dark," Jared said to me. "Oh yeah?" I said. Even though big, hairy, kid-eating monsters only come out at night, I turned off my flashlight. I could stay out here all night in the dark. But Jared looked me right in the eye and said, "Oh yeah? I could stay out here all night in the dark, even if there were spiders dangling over my head." I frowned at Jared. Who's afraid of spiders? It's not like they're big, hairy, kid-eating monsters. "Oh yeah?" I said. "I could stay out here all night in the dark, even if there were spiders dangling over my head and snakes slithering around my feet." Jared rolled his eyes. "Oh yeah," he said. "I could stay out here all night in the dark, even if there were spiders dangling over my head and snakes slithering around my feet and giant 20-foot crocodiles crawling out of the fish pond. I wouldn't be afraid. I'll show you." He grabbed his stuffed hippo, Norman, crawled out of the tent and walked right up to the bank of the fish pond. Ooh, gets intense now. It was really dark over there by the fish pond, the perfect hiding place for big, hairy, kid-eating monsters. But I said to Jared, "Oh yeah?" I grabbed my stuffed rabbit, Alfred, and walked right up to the bank of the fish pond too. "I could stay out here all night in the dark," I said, "even if there were spiders dangling over my head and snakes slithering at my feet and giant 20-foot crocodiles crawling out of the fish pond and saber-toothed tigers on the prowl." Me and Alfred would just tell them to go away. Jared scoffed at me. "Oh yeah? I could stay out here all night in the dark, even if there were spiders dangling over my head and snakes slithering around my feet and giant 20-foot crocodiles crawling out of the fish pond and saber-toothed tigers on the prowl. I'll tell them all to go away. And I'll do it all without Norman." Now I scowled. Prove it, I said. Jared's eyebrows went up, and I figured he was probably worrying about big, hairy kid eating monsters. But he took a deep breath and sat Norman down by the maple tree. Oh yeah, I said to Jared. Even though the wind made the maple tree creak and groan, I wasn't worried about big, hairy, kid-eating monsters either. I took a deep breath, gave Alfred a hug, and set him down by the maple tree too. I could stay out here all night long in the dark, even if there were spiders dangling over my head and snakes slithering around my feet and giant 20-foot crocodiles crawling out of the fish pond and saber-toothed tigers on the prowl and fire-breathing dragons circling in the sky. I'll punch them all in the nose, so there. Just then, there was a rustle and a thump in the bushes, and Jared and I both jumped. That rustle and thump sounded a lot like the kind of rustling and thumping that big, hairy, kid-eating monsters would make. But Jared scooted closer to me. Oh yeah, he said. I could stay out here all night long in the dark if there were spiders dangling over my head and snakes slithering around on my feet and giant 20-foot crocodiles crawling out of the fish pond and saber-toothed tigers on the prowl and fire-breathing dragons circling in the sky and a big, hairy, and the bushes shook. Jared's voice shook too. And a big, hairy kid eating. What do you think it is? From the bushes came breathing, beastly, slobbering-nosed breathing, exactly like a big, hairy kid eating monster breath. The big, hairy kid eating monster breath drew closer and closer and closer. Do you see what's in the bushes there? Is that a big, hairy kid eating monster? I'm afraid to turn the page. Okay, I'll do it. Okay. A big, hairy kid eating monster! Jared and I both screamed. We dove for the tent, crawled into our sleeping bags and covered our eyes, and then I remembered. Alfred! He was still out there under the maple tree. Norman, said Jared. What if the big hairy kid eating monster liked to jump on stuffed rabbits and hippos too? In a flash, we were out in the dark, charging for the maple tree. We'll save you, we shouted. Get away, big hairy kid eating monster, get away. Do you see what's in the corner there? Is that a big hairy kid eating monster? I think it looks like their dog. And it did. The big hairy kid eating monster gave a yelp and ran, looked kind of like, well, a lot like my dog Marietta. Do you see how all of the things in their imagination got scared too? After my heart calmed down and my breath got back to normal, I whispered to Jared, I wasn't scared. Me neither, said Jared. We scooped up Alfred and Norman and hurried back into the tent. We turned on the flashlight just so we could see each other a little better. We're both really brave, said Jared. I hugged Alfred close and I said, oh yeah? And someone said, yeah. Who could that be? Maybe it's their parents making sure that they're okay. Well, I hope you like this book. Go on an adventure outside. You know, there's so much to do, or come into the library and check out a book that takes you on a new adventure. Well, I will see you real soon. Thank you so much for tuning into a virtual story time. Have yourself a wonderful day.